Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, let me tell you something today that can change your entire life. Not in a year, not in a month, but in just 3 days. That's right, just 3 days. You've been waiting on someone to notice you, waiting on somebody to speak over you, waiting for that phone call, that compliment, that confirmation. But what if I told you the voice you've been waiting for is already inside you? Let me help you understand something that will shift your entire life. Your breakthrough doesn't start on the outside. It starts on the inside. The most powerful voice you'll ever hear is not the voice of your boss, not the voice of your pastor, not even the voice of your critics. It's the voice you use to talk to yourself. Yes, the words you whisper in the dark, the phrases you repeat when no one's around, the story you're telling yourself about yourself. That inner voice can be your greatest coach or your cruelest warden. And here's the truth. You cannot live a victorious life with a defeated mouth. You cannot expect strength to rise when all you speak is weakness. You cannot expect to walk in power if you rehearse your pain more than your promise. You see, life will try to teach you to be silent, to mute your voice, to shut down your boldness, to shrink under the weight of disappointment. But if you keep quiet long enough, your own silence becomes the soundtrack of your struggle. That's why you've got to start talking back, not to people, to yourself, to your fear, to your doubt, to your guilt. Tell it, you don't own me anymore. You got to wake up and say, I am more than what I feel. I am not defined by what I've been through. I may have been broken, but I'm not finished. I may be scarred, but I'm still standing. I will not let the echoes of rejection drown out the sound of my purpose. When you begin to talk to yourself like that, you activate something in the spirit. You stir up faith. You reframe your identity. You stop waiting for someone to tell you who you are, because you already know. Your words have weight. Your words build walls or tear them down. Your words are containers of power. And when you start speaking life to yourself, even through tears, even through trials, you start shifting your atmosphere. This is not empty hype. This is spiritual warfare. You're not just encouraging yourself. You're declaring war on every lie that ever tried to define you. You're confronting every wound that ever silenced you. You're rising up from within. And when you do that consistently, you'll begin to see that what you say to yourself becomes more important than anything anyone ever said about you. So speak with faith, speak with fire, speak like you believe in the future God put inside you. Because your life will always follow the direction of your voice. And the moment you choose to speak power to your reflection, even if your voice shakes, is the moment your healing begins. Let me tell you something. You cannot walk in power if your mouth is full of poison. You cannot live in victory if every word you speak carries the weight of defeat. Some of us have gotten so used to speaking out of our pain, our fear, our frustration, that we don't even recognize how much damage we're doing to our own future. You keep saying, I'll never be enough. It's too late for me. Nothing ever works out. And then you wonder why your life looks like the very words you keep repeating. But I came to tell you, there is power in your tongue. Life and death are not in your circumstances. They're in your confession. If all you ever speak is struggle, all you'll ever see is survival. If all you declare is lack, then abundance will feel like a stranger to you. Don't let your mouth make you miss your moment. You see, too many of us are fluent in the language of defeat. We speak it like it's our native tongue. We rehearse rejection. We echo failure. We memorize every mistake. And then we wonder why we can't rise. It's not that you're not gifted. It's not that you're not called. It's not that God didn't plant something special in you. It's that you're choking your future with the words of your past. You've got to make a decision, not tomorrow, not next week, right now. You've got to say no more. No more calling myself broken when I know I'm being rebuilt. No more calling myself lost when I know I'm on the path of destiny. No more saying it's too hard when I serve a God who does the impossible. For too long, you've been feeding your fears when you should have been feeding your faith. You've been nurturing your wounds when you should have been watering your dreams. It's time to flip the script. Speak life. Even when you feel weak, say I am strong. Even when you feel stuck, declare I am moving forward. Even when you're surrounded by darkness, say light is coming, joy is coming, breakthrough is coming. You've got to speak the promise louder than the pain. You've got to speak the vision louder than the valley. You may not feel it right away. That's okay. Speak it anyway. Speak it until your soul believes it. Speak it until your heart starts to rise again. Because the moment you start speaking life, something shifts in the atmosphere. Your words create a new environment. Your mouth becomes a tool of transformation. Don't you dare let defeat be your anthem. Don't you dare let doubt be your melody. Sing a new song. Speak a new future. Say what you want to see, not just what you've been through. Because when you speak life, you invite heaven into your situation. And when heaven steps in, hell has to back down. Words are not just sounds. They are seeds. Every time you open your mouth, you're planting something. And make no mistake, what you plant, you will harvest. You may not see it overnight, but words are like spiritual seeds that go into the soil of your future. That's why you have to be intentional about what you speak. You can't just say anything and expect everything. You can't sow negativity and expect to reap joy. You can't speak lack and expect to live in overflow. That's not how it works. Some of us have been planting weeds with our words and wondering why our life looks like a battlefield instead of a garden. You keep saying, I'll never make it. People always leave me. I'm not smart enough. I'm not worthy. And those words, they don't just disappear into the air. They take root. They grow, they wrap around your mind, around your heart, around your habits. And before long, you start living like the very thing you spoke, not because it was true, but because you believed it and you fed it. But if your words can plant weeds, they can also plant beauty. If your mouth can produce pain, it can also produce purpose. You've got to flip the soil. You've got to dig up the lies and start planting truth. Start saying, I am chosen. I am capable. I am destined for more. Something greater is coming for me. Speak those words even when you don't feel them, especially when you don't feel them. Because feelings follow faith, not the other way around. See, a farmer doesn't drop a seed and walk away disappointed when there's no tree the next morning. He understands the principle of time, patience, and persistence. You've got to do the same with your words. Speak them daily. Water them with consistency. Protect them from the weeds of negativity, from people who doubt you, from thoughts that want to sabotage you, from voices that try to mock your progress. You don't need everybody to agree with your seed. You just need to plant it with conviction. And hear me. Sometimes the words you plant will grow in silence. You won't see anything for a season, and that's okay. Keep speaking. Keep sowing. Because the harvest is guaranteed when the seed is right. Don't just speak based on what you see. Speak based on what you believe. Speak to your future like it's already on the way. Speak to your body like healing is already taking place. Speak to your mind like peace is already moving in. Your life is following your mouth. Your destiny is responding to your declaration. So ask yourself, what kind of garden are you growing with your words? Are you planting life? Are you sowing victory? Because when you realize the power in your tongue, you won't waste another sentence. You'll speak like every word matters, because it does. Change doesn't always take years. Sometimes all it takes is a decision followed by just a few days of discipline. See, you've been praying for transformation, crying out for a breakthrough, asking God to move mountains. But what if the mountain isn't around you? What if the mountain is in you, in your mind, in your mouth, in your pattern of thinking? And the truth is, some of those mountains can start crumbling, not with a miracle, but with a mindset shift that begins when you start talking to yourself differently. Just give it 3 days. That's it. 3 days of no more I can't, no more I'm not good enough, no more what if I fail. For 3 days, start replacing those old lies with God's truth. Say, I am chosen, I am strong, I am built for this. Not because everything looks right around you, but because something is finally starting to feel right within you. Now understand, this isn't magic, this is spiritual strategy. Because what you say to yourself over time builds either a prison or a platform. If you keep saying the same negative things over and over, you build walls that lock you inside your own limitations. But if you spend 3 days speaking strength, speaking peace, speaking power, you start building stairs that lift you to another level. Some of you are waiting on motivation to show up before you speak live. But what if your voice is the very thing that activates your motivation? What if the change you've been begging God for is sitting in the words you refuse to say? For 3 days, shut down every toxic thought that tries to rise up and take its seat in your mind. When insecurity says, you're not enough, talk back. Say, I am more than a conqueror. When fear whispers you'll fail like last time, you shout, this time is different. Because when you speak differently, you think differently. And when you think differently, you act differently. And when your actions shift, your atmosphere begins to change. You start walking into rooms with confidence. You start seeing possibilities instead of problems. You start waiting for people to affirm you because you've already affirmed yourself in the presence of God for 3 days. That's all. Just 3 days of intentional, powerful, focused self-talk. And watch how the fog starts to lift. Watch how your energy starts to return. Watch how heaven starts to respond to the sound of your faith. You don't need a full year of perfection. You just need 3 days of discipline to show yourself that something new is possible. You've tried everything else. You've waited on everybody else. Now try this. Talk to yourself like someone who believes in your future. Do it for 3 days. Not because it's easy, but because you're worth it. Find shrinking to make others comfortable. Stop dimming your light because you're afraid someone might feel insecure about your shine. Stop apologizing for your anointing, your calling, your assignment. You weren't made to blend in. You weren't built to stay silent. You weren't created to live beneath the power that's been placed inside you. It's time to open your mouth and speak with boldness and authority, not because of who you are, but because of who sent you. See, authority doesn't come from popularity. It doesn't come from a title. It doesn't come from a platform. Real authority is birthed in the fire. It's developed in the storm. It's forged in the middle of the fight. You don't speak with boldness because you've never been broken. You speak with boldness because you survived it. Because you made it through what tried to kill you. Because you were buried and still came out breathing. Too many of us are walking around waiting for someone to give us permission to rise, waiting for someone to validate our voice. But if you keep waiting on people to see your value, you'll stay silent in rooms God already gave you authority over. It's not arrogance to speak with power. It's alignment. You're aligning your mouth with your mission. You're aligning your voice with your victory. So don't speak like a victim when you've been crowned a victor. Don't whisper when you were born to roar. Don't question whether you belong when God already made room for you. Start declaring, I am not afraid to walk in my calling. I don't need the crowd's applause to confirm my purpose. I have been equipped for such a time as this. Boldness doesn't mean you never feel fear. It means you don't let fear make your decisions. Authority doesn't mean you have all the answers. It means you trust the one who does. So speak up, speak out. Speak over your family, your finances, your future. Declare what will be, not just what has been. Speak like heaven is listening and hell is trembling because it is. You see, when you start speaking with boldness and authority, you shift the atmosphere around you. Weak things begin to break. Stagnant things begin to move. Closed doors begin to unlock because your words carry weight, not just encouragement, command. You're not just hoping things get better. You're declaring that they will. You're not begging life to be kind. You're speaking it into alignment. And don't worry if people don't understand it. They weren't there in the midnight hour. They didn't see the tears you cried, the battles you fought, the nights you almost gave up. But God saw, and now that He's raising you up, don't you dare go quiet. Speak with boldness. Speak with authority. Speak like a warrior who knows the victory is already written, because it is. You've been waiting for the right time, waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for someone to open a door, send a word, change your life. But let me tell you something powerful. You are not waiting on a breakthrough. You are your breakthrough. You are not waiting on a miracle. You are the miracle in motion. The moment you start speaking life over yourself, the moment you choose to believe what God said about you over what people said about you, that's when everything begins to shift. See, some of us have been sitting in broken places waiting for someone to come rescue us. But rescue isn't coming the way you think. The rescue is already in you. It's in your faith. It's in your fire. It's in the words you choose to speak over your own life. You don't need someone else to pull you out. You need to pull yourself up with the truth that's been buried inside of you all along. You've been under pressure, but pressure creates power. You've been overlooked, but being hidden was part of the preparation. You've been misunderstood, but even that has a purpose. Because now when you speak, you're not just speaking from head knowledge. You're speaking from experience, from survival, from revelation. That kind of voice can't be faked. That kind of voice doesn't need applause. It carries authority because it's been tested by the fire. It's time to stop giving all your power away to the pain, to the past, to people who walked away. Your healing isn't in their hands. Your breakthrough doesn't belong to them. It belongs to you. It starts when you stop talking like a victim and start speaking like a vessel. When you stop rehearsing your wounds and start releasing your words. Your words are not just sounds, they are spirit. They are life. And when you begin to speak with intention, when you declare your identity, your assignment, your future, you start building the very path you've been praying for. Speak to your mind and say you will have peace. Speak to your heart and say you are being restored. Speak to your future and say, I am on the way. You don't need a crowd to start changing your life. All you need is a moment of truth with yourself. All you need is one decision to no longer sit in silence while your destiny waits. Because the same power that raised Jesus from the grave lives in you. And when you speak from that place, things begin to rise again. Dreams rise, strength rises, clarity rises. You start moving like the answer you've been waiting for. So stop looking around for someone to break the chains. You are the one. You are the voice. You are the shift. You are the change. And when you finally realize that, When you own that truth and walk in that authority, hell gets nervous and heaven rejoices, because you didn't wait for breakthrough, you became it.